Hey Earth Signs, how y'all doing? Welcome to my channel. If you've never been here before, please go to my main channel, CashApp Tarot, and watch the original portion of this video before you listen to this extended read. Also, make sure you are subscribed to both channels, and if you are coming back, make sure you have your little bells turned on and all that good stuff to get notified when my videos pop up randomly like they do. My hair is a hot mess, and I'm super sorry. Anyways, we are doing the extended version of the Hoodoo Tarot reading for April of 2023 that I just posted for you guys. This will be the portion where I read from this beautiful historical book that comes with the tarot deck. So let's just jump right into it. Taurus, you guys are first, and you guys started out with the Knight of Swords in the middle of your reading. The Knight of Swords in the middle of your reading. If you don't remember, it looked like this. And you and Capricorn and Aries, you Capricorn and you and Capricorn both got the Knight of Swords. All right, so yeah. The plant associated with the Son of Knives, also known as the Knight of Swords, is ragweed. The image says the Son of Knives stands in front of a church, clasping a switchblade and a razor as he awaits the arrival of his opponent. The winner of this slash fest must face no retribution from the family of the wounded or deceased man, because the battle takes place before the eyes of God. Meaning, the Son of Knives represents the tendency to go too hard and provoke other people. On the positive side, he is innovative, gung-ho, energetic, vigilant, clever, and persuasive. On the negative side, he is pushy, aggressive, two-faced, a gossip, a hustler, and likes to take unnecessary risks and spread rumors and drama. In a reading, if he doesn't represent a literal person with these qualities, then he represents these attributes, okay? The major arcana that you guys got, you had the Wheel of Fortune, which is Aunt Caroline in this deck. It's the Bible verse associated with this card is Ecclesiastes 3:1. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. The plant associated with this card is hickory. The image says Aunt Caroline is standing in the doorway of her home in Newport, surrounded by reporters. Caroline Dye, 1843 to 1918, also known as Aunt Caroline, was born into slavery in South Carolina before being relocated along with her parents to Arkansas. After being freed in 1865, she married and began her work as a cartomancer. Playing cards were her specialty. Aunt Caroline had been aware of her psychic gifts as a child, and she quickly earned a reputation as an effective and reliable counselor. Her clients were racially diverse, and it was not uncommon to see entire train cars of people disembarking in Newport to seek out her services. Aunt Caroline was industrious too. She sold meals to the crowds of people who awaited her, and she invested in land and property with the money that she earned. There is also a legend that she buried a cache of gold somewhere in the area. After her death, many people tried to find the treasure but were unsuccessful. Aunt Caroline's skill and amazing rags to riches story are two reasons why she became a legend. The meaning of this card, it says when Aunt Caroline appears in a reading, it's an indication that fate is a factor regarding whatever you are inquiring about. Rack your brain about what you or someone else could have done differently if you like, but the truth is that everything turned out exactly how it was supposed to be. This can be a very hard pill to swallow in an age when people want to believe that their thoughts or choices always dictate the outcomes. The existence of a greater plan is not a welcome concept today because it implies vulnerability, which isn't automatically translated to weakness in the minds of many. We are used to images of people casually walking away in slow motion from explosions or crashing through windows without a scratch. We then want to be indestructible, unflappable people too, but this is not the movies. We know in real life that those characters most likely would have died in that raging inferno, and the window crasher would be blinded or cut to ribbons. The audience likes that these things did not occur. They like the implication that the characters escaped or were cooler than what the fate had planned for them. Aunt Caroline teaches us that this way of thinking is a fantasy. Oh, you got a whistle? Come here and show me your whistle. Oh, that's a cool whistle. Come show it to me. Come here. Come here. Come look at yourself. Look at yourself. Oh, that is a cool whistle. Good job. Go show your brother your whistle. You're going to choke on it. Slow it down there, little Virgo. Yeah. He's a Virgo sun and a Leo moon and a Aquarius rising. Hence the weirdness. Anyways, sorry for the interruption, but I keep it real 100 around here. This is why my readings take so long to get out. It says the audience likes that these things did not occur. They like the implication that the characters escaped or were cooler than what fate had planned for them. Aunt Caroline teaches us that this way of thinking is a fantasy. No one can escape their fate, and incidents are no accidents. She also teaches us to expect the unexpected. This card may also be trying to tell you that to understand why things are happening or why they turned out the way that they did, you must consider the big picture. If you receive Aunt Caroline in a reading, consider the following. Have you thought about turning that unexpected incident into an opportunity? This was fated. When one door closes, another one opens. Was it really an accident? Your luck is about to change. You don't like change. Tough shit. It's about to happen. We're all just players in one big chess game. Do you really think this is all about you? Get out of your own way. Why were you born? Why are you here? Miracles happen every day. Do you respect the cycle of life? How do you feel about getting older? All right. You guys also had the Ancestors card, which is the Death card. The Bible verse associated with that is Proverbs 30:17. The plant is flower of stone. The image says a happy baby is lying in a crib. Though her form is young, there is a part of her that is very old. The half of her face that is skeletal reflects this eternal connection with the ancestors. Ancestor veneration is one of the least discussed but most ubiquitous features of human life since time immemorial. Though the aesthetics of ancestral venerations vary depending on the culture, there are few people who feel comfortable with their dead just being dead. Instead, humans have created hundreds of other dimensions for their souls to inhabit, where they may or may not be accessible to the living. In hoodoo, we may have access to any spirit of the dead if the deceased is willing and we are skilled enough to make and maintain contact. It was quite common in both indigenous American and African cultures to consult the ancestors via various methods of divination, channeling, or meditation, for those in the community who had the skill or authority to do so. The death of family members was no excuse to begin excluding them from the affairs of the nation, rites, and rituals, nor from accepting their input regarding the major life decisions of their living relations. In the traditional mind, neither time nor space could separate us from our kin. Ancestral veneration, however, is much deeper than lighting candles, attending special events, or asking questions now and then. Ancestral veneration, in its most traditional sense, is supposed to inform our behavior on a daily and continual basis. It's about knowing, honoring, and defending one's bloodline. It's about personifying the most esteemed values of your forefathers and foremothers and doing one's best to add on positively to your family's legacy. It's about reflecting on and identifying how our parents' and grandparents' actions affected our lives and considering how our decisions could affect our great-grandchildren tomorrow. The meaning says death is not a subject most Westerners or Western-educated people like to discuss. It's an event that will happen to each and every one of us, yet it is considered morbid, weird, or taboo to spend any time contemplating it. It cannot be spring, summer, or fall forever. Eventually, the end must come to make way for something new. Death is just the beginning of that something, so when the Ancestors card turns up in a reading, you are being reminded that the only thing that is truly permanent is impermanence. It's okay to be sad, it's okay to mourn, but you must let go, life goes on. If you receive the Ancestors in a reading, consider the following. Every end is also a new beginning. The only thing that is constant is change. Put the past behind you and start over. Learn how to embrace the unknown. Do you know who your ancestors are? What does your lineage or ancestral heritage mean to you? In what ways are you and your ancestors the same, and how are you different? Do you feel connected to your ancestors? Why or why not? Do you communicate with and or venerate your ancestors? If not, why not? And if so, how do you do that? Do genealogical research or create a family tree. All right. The next major arcana that you guys had was the Empress or the Big Queen. The Bible verse associated with that is Isaiah 21:5. It says, prepare the table, watch in the watchtower, eat, drink, arise, ye princess, and anoint the shield. The plant is Jezebel root in Louisiana iris. It says a carnival Indian queen smiles as she displays her Black Hawk bucket. Black Hawk, 1767 to 1838, was a leader of the Sauk and Fox tribe. He was a powerful warrior who was well known for his bravery and resisting colonial encroachment on his land and way of life. A spiritualist leader from the Midwest named Mother Lethe Anderson petitioned the spirit of Black Hawk for protection in her temple. Today, many spiritualists and root workers in Louisiana and beyond work with Black Hawk to ensure victory against their enemies. The tradition of Carnival Indians in New Orleans, as we all know them today, dates back to the early 18th century. When enslaved Africans arrived in Louisiana, many of them sought refuge among the indigenous people and were offered it. As a result, the cultures and bloodlines mixed, and their descendants still pay homage to the spirit of love, freedom, friendship, and resistance that brought their ancestors together. This thereby made the Carnival Indian a symbol of boundless beauty and invincibility. Though most Carnival Indians may be considered patriarchal, to some, due to the hypervisibility of men and boys, the Big Queen plays an essential role in their tribes. The archetype of the Big Queen is not only a vision of beauty with her ornately embellished garments, but she is also an artist, a teacher, a peacemaker, and a protector of this sacred tradition. The Big Queen is everything. When the Big Queen appears in a reading, you are being asked to consider your roots in regards to Mother Wit. What would your ancestresses say about whatever is going on in your life? What advice would they give? How would they handle the situation? The wisdom of our mothers is a portal to the past. That doesn't mean that you must do things exactly as they did or perceive the world exactly as they perceived it, because that would be impossible. What it does mean is that they should be given an opportunity to speak to you via your consideration. This not only connects us with the women in our bloodline, but also with nature as a whole. The change of the seasons and the cycles of birth, death, and decay will always be, but it is the space between that a Big Queen inhabits. It is the spirit of continuity and the joy that is true comprehension brings that ensure nothing is ever truly lost, even if it can't be found for now. Therefore, there is always abundance, always beauty, and always a reason to celebrate. If you receive her in a reading, consider the following. How do you give and receive pleasure, and how do others in the world come into play? Do I accept abundance in my life? How? Eat, drink, and be merry? Yes, baby. All that glitters isn't gold, but it sure is pretty. Do I accept compliments for my beauty and or style with grace? What aspect of your life do you nurture the most, and what aspect could use more nurturing? Which family members or friends do I nurture the most? Am I neglecting anyone who deserves my attention, as my baby's running up the stairs yelling for me? Do I purposely seek reasons to smile and laugh out loud every day? How often do you reflect on the beauty of being alive and of being you? Am I still connected to nature and the earth, or have I lost my way? What do I do on a regular basis to help me restore my sense of balance in a hectic world? Go camping, take a walk in the park, and maybe buy a plant or three. How does all the knowledge that I've accumulated or spiritual work that I've done benefit my family and my community? Oh, what are you bringing me? What is my legacy? And what does your mother or mother figure have to say about that? Let me see. Look what book he brought me. I think I have to pause to go read my baby a story, so give me a second. Mommy? I will. Come here. You gonna read it? You want to read it?
Okay.
Okay, let's go read it. I'll pause it and we'll read it. I'll be right back to finish your reading. Room on the Broom has been read. Let's get back to this. Taurus. You guys, for your minor arcana, you had the Seven of Wands. The plant associated with that is elderberry. The image, it says, according to legend, Uncle Monday was a witch doctor from Africa who was enslaved in South Carolina. He managed to escape and sought out refuge among the Seminoles. Uncle Monday promised himself that he would never let white people capture him again, so he asked a Seminole medicine man to turn him into an alligator so as to always be able to defend himself. He is said to still roam the swamps in either his alligator or human form, blessing or cursing anyone who crosses his path. The meaning in the positive upright musician says, standing your ground, strength in adversity, defending your beliefs, the final showdown, a fair competition, protest, resisting authority, protecting what's rightfully yours, and the ability to summon inner strength. Negative, being pushed around, exhaustion, being a doormat, struggling to survive, the odds being against you, fighting a losing battle, being a scapegoat, feeling overwhelmed, quitting, getting bullied, stubbornness, narrow-mindedness, failing to admit when you're wrong, hidden enemies, and surrendering. You guys also had the Five of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. Two of Coins or the Two of Pentacles. The plant associated with that is seaweed. The image says a juggler rides on a unicycle as a huge tidal wave rises in the background. He has drawn a circle of protection around himself in the sand in hopes that it will all be well in the end. Positive meaning, upright, a well-balanced life, having your priorities in the right order, splitting responsibilities, reliable partnerships, multitasking, and adaptability. Negative, in the reverse, failure to prioritize, disorganization, living paycheck to paycheck, carrying someone else's weight, too many irons in the fire, credit card debt, and inflexible people. The last one that you guys had, Taurus, was the Five of Wands. Plant associated with that is Edelweiss. The image says a teenager looks cross as four of her peers talk maliciously behind her back. She will jinx them all later. It says positive, upright meaning, healthy competition, diversity, assertiveness, having faith that you can win arguments that reveal the truth, martial arts, finding common ground, a battle of wits, debate club, relief from tension and breaking the ice. Negative position in the reverse means unnecessary drama, haters and trolls, failing to stand up for oneself, lack of competition, minor annoyances, embarrassing or uncomfortable situations. The devil is in the details, grudges, being easily intimidated, and pretending things are okay when they're not. All right, Taurus, that was your little bonus reading. If you need to check out the original, that link is in the description box below. If you want a personal, check out my email down there. Love y'all, Taurus. Catch you next time. Bye. All right, Virgo, you guys are up next. Sorry for the kid in the background. My little Virgo is on one right now, and he will not let me get anything done today. Hey, little Virgo, you want to come say hi to the other Virgos? Come here. Come here, little Virgo. He's an Aquarius rising, so this is why he looks this way. Oh, yeah. Let's show everyone. You guys, Shadow and Sonic? Show them. Oh, my goodness. That's Sonic EXE. He's scary. Oh, he's scary. Why did you pick the villains? You got villains? Yep. All right, go play, little villain. I'll see you in a minute. I gotta read this story to the other Virgos. Okay, and then I'll read your book again. I love you. See you in a minute. All right, Virgos. You guys got the King of Wands to start your reading off, and a couple of the other signs yesterday had that. The plant associated with that is rye. It says a highly successful 19th century hoodoo man named Dr. James Alexander, aka Indian Jim, who lived in New Orleans but was originally from Mississippi, is depicted as the father of sticks. He was known for his curing ceremonies, which included the distribution of fruit covered in burning brandy. He would also do head washings with the brandy, meaning the father of sticks is generally a beneficent card. On the positive side, he is a visionary, adventurous, goal-oriented, wise, and trustworthy with a can-do attitude and natural-born leadership. On the negative side, he is cowardly, incompetent, immature, impotent, and reckless. In a reading, if he doesn't represent a literal person with these qualities, then he represents these attributes. All right? You guys then had the Garden card, which is the World card. The Bible verse associated with that is Isaiah 58:11. The Lord will guide you as always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. The plant associated with that is Cosmos. The image says a woman is happily watering her garden. Prior to the Industrial Revolution, most Americans were farmers by trade. It was hard work, but people took great pride in knowing that the produce that fed and cured their families was grown by their own hands. For people with the more resources, gardening eventually became a relaxing leisure activity that allowed them to connect with nature or express themselves creatively. Good job.
Scary.
He is scary. Either way, whether for utilitarian or recreational purposes, the rule for a successful harvest does not change, which is this. Mind your crops. Mind your little crops. Meaning, when the garden appears in a reading, he is scary. Can you take Scary Shadow in your room? I'm too scared of him. He's too spooky. Mommy's scared. Ah! Run away, Shadow! It's not working. He's too smart. When the garden appears in a reading, it's letting you know that you've successfully taken care of business.
Scary.
And it's time to
Shadow's scary.
He is. You're going to make me stop, aren't you? Can you let me finish this one and then I'll come help you out? I'll be there in 1 minute. Can you go downstairs and tell Bubby it's time for dinner?
It's time for dinner.
Good job. Just yell down the stairs. The garden appears in a reading. It's letting you know that you've successfully taken care of business and it's time to reap all the goodness that you've sown. Count your blessings, all your little blessings. If your query relates to gossip or rumors, the garden could be trying to tell you to mind your own business. It's reminding you of how much better the world would be if everyone focused on their own affairs instead of being concerned about what others are doing and how they're doing it. If you receive the garden in a reading, oh my God, he's so my child, he's so loud. If you receive the garden in a reading, consider the following. In what ways do you heal the world? Seriously consider the benefits of working there or joining that club, etc. The solution has arrived. There is nothing more to seek. What makes you feel safe, grounded, and whole? Don't wait for anyone else to have a pleasurable experience. Stop and smell the roses. Learn the art of being content. You made it. Now enjoy it. All right. You guys also had the Sun, which is the Big Mama card. The verse associated with that is 2 Timothy 1:5. I am reminded of your sincere faith, a faith that dwelt first in your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice, and now I am sure dwells in you as well. The plant is the sunflower. The image says Big Mama is holding a plate of homemade cornbread with the sun shining brightly behind her. She wears a skeleton key as a necklace to symbolize her all-encompassing wisdom. Big Mama is a term of endearment for the matriarch of one's family. It is an acknowledgement of her wisdom, strength, authority, leadership skills, and ability to nurture multiple generations. Traditionally, all elders of both genders were to be respected for these qualities, but no one is bigger than Big Mama. As the caregiver of so many children and the transmitter of family history, lore, and spirituality, she is the family's jewel and guiding light. Today, Big Mama's role in many families is not as prominent as it used to be before desegregation. As Black Americans increasingly interacted with ethnic groups that were more youth-oriented and patriarchal, the ethical, hierarchical, and conceptual foundation of the community started to shift. Also adding to this alteration of thought was the movement away from the church. It was there that the values of the forebearers were reinforced, celebrated, and discussed. Often it was your Big Mama or someone else's that you knew well or were kin to who also held the prestigious title of Mother of the Church. Like the sun, the matriarch is a warm, centralized force without whom growth would be impossible. Meaning, when you receive Big Mama in a reading, you better believe that no matter how dark it is now, the light is coming and everything is going to be all right. It always reminds me of that Praise God song, Kanye West. Even if you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be night. Sir, flex, I do work. Big Mama may also be speaking about being willing and able to share your glory, your light, and your power with others. This is not the time to lay low. This is your time to shine. If you receive Big Mama in a reading, consider the following. Do you fear being brilliant or successful? What is being highlighted? It's okay to be the center of attention sometimes. What does enlightenment mean to you? Take a personal day from work. Who are the important players in the situation? Am I exhibiting a positive attitude? Reputations matter. It's time to celebrate. Confidence is the best cosmetic. What do you need to do to look and feel your best? All right. You also had the Fool card. Let's see. The Fool. The free man, the fool. The verse is John 8:32. It says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Plant. Oh, AJ needs oranges. Y'all, I'll be right back. I'm going to pause this, just like I had to pause for Taurus. All right, Virgos. I put my little Virgo to bed, so hopefully we will not be interrupted anymore. Let's do the Fool over again for you guys. The free man, the fool. It says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That is John 8:32. The plant is Jimson weed. The image says, a man is walking away from the tomb of Joshua John Ward of Georgetown County, South Carolina. Ward was the largest American slaveholder, dubbed the King of the Rice Planters. The man is carrying a mason jar filled with dirt. Who was this young man? Did he know Ward personally? Why did he risk being prosecuted for trespassing or witchcraft? Does he have a purpose at all, or is the man just plain crazy? Freedom, is it a state of mind, a state of being, or is it both? The free man doesn't think about it any more than a fish contemplates water. The free man isn't deep because depth, by definition, prohibits unrestricted movement upon the surface. The free man was probably deep prior to the outset of his journey into the unknown, the unfathomable and unpredictable, or he wouldn't have had the wisdom to know that the concept of safety is an illusion anyways. The free man has seen many people get beaten by life, or in fact had no life at all, because they were afraid to take a few risks. He has heard many people say one day regarding their dreams and heard way too few todays. He has conversed with talented acquaintances that felt more comfortable dwelling on abstractions and distractions than investing in their potential. The free man is tired of being so deep, so calculating, so restricted, and so dead. The meaning of this card says the free man is card 0 because 0 is not a natural number, since most people normally don't start counting with 0. Likewise, the free man doesn't count in situations that demand subservience to conventional wisdom or the status quo. The free man is on a whole other level because he genuinely feels that common sense is for common people. He doesn't think he's better than anyone, he just has accepted that new grass doesn't grow as lusciously on a beaten path. The free man is definitely foolish to most people who encounter him because he appears to be reckless and immature, but such assessments are only relevant when gain or loss is the focus. The free man doesn't exist in the space where those thoughts flourish. He is more interested in the attainment of wisdom by following his passions and what he knows to be true, wherever that may ultimately lead. The free man has what every great root worker has always had: the courage to follow their calling despite the possible dire consequences, and unshakable faith that made that courage possible. If you receive the free man in a reading, consider the following. What is the best thing that could happen if things go your way? What is the worst thing that could happen if they don't? Can you live without ever knowing? Have you received an opportunity that you fantasized about but are afraid to take? Where are you headed? Are you really that deep? Are you really a free spirit? Or are you just a jerk or a rebel without a cause? Have you considered the financial or emotional cost of attaining the goal? It doesn't matter whether you like surprises that are on the way. Are you really as innocent as you profess to be? Has lingering self-doubt caused your boredom or dissatisfaction? The new guy, gal, or situation isn't who or what they appear to be. Maybe you need to loosen up. Let's go crazy. Let's go nuts. Shout out Prince. Are you living in the present and follow your bliss? All right. So those were your majors. Now let's get to your minors. You had the 4 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, and the Ace of Coins. All right. The 4 of Wands is the 4 of Sticks. It says the plant is Angelica. The image says a happy couple is planting their baby's placenta with Angelica flowers beneath a lush crepe myrtle tree in the hopes of attracting good fortune to the child. Positive, upright, meaning is a cause for celebration, a special event, relaxation, laying down roots, feeling blessed, harmonious interactions, taking things to the next level, letting your hair down, prosperity, rites of passage, family reunions, freedom, security, teamwork, making the dream work, something wonderful to look forward to, feeling good about yourself, and dreams coming true. The negative reverse meaning means conflict, minor delays, family dysfunction, unconstructive criticism, canceled plans, instability, division in the community, and feeling unwelcome. You also have the 9 of Sticks. The plant for that is pepper. The image says an oppressed woman has finally decided that enough is enough. She protects herself with a mojo bag, a Bible, and a pistol. The skull top sticks represent the ancestors who have been waiting for her to make a move and are willing to provide assistance. Positive upright meaning is defending yourself, a test of faith, perseverance, being prepared, a fight to the death, willpower, resilience, guarding your boundaries, and an attitude of would rather do than die. The negative reversed meaning is a defeatist attitude, paranoia, refusing to compromise, having no backbone, and getting hurt as a result of trusting the wrong people. Interesting. Okay, Ace of Coins. Plant is the pomegranate. The image says a woman holds up a slice of sweet potato pie on a serving knife to offer to her guest. The pie was baked with a lucky Indian head penny, a tiny piece of ragged cloth, a matchstick, a pea, and a ring inside. Inspired by the traditional Irish bambrock bread, the coin symbolizes wealth, the cloth symbolizes poverty, the pea symbolizes not getting married, the matchstick symbolizes domestic discord, and the ring symbolizes getting married. The guest shown here is not only receiving the slice with the lucky penny, but she has also received a message in the tea leaves foretelling good fortune ahead. It says meaning, positive, inheritance, receiving money or gifts, new financial or career opportunities, productivity, fertility, job offers, abundance, practical advice, achieving tangible results, blessings, lottery winnings, optimism, money, reward for hard work, improved health, happy new beginnings, having a support system, manifestation, windfalls, and good omens. Negative, broke people, bad investments, possessiveness, lack of planning, greed, excessive spending, stinginess, bankruptcy, materialism, and misers. All right, Virgo, that wraps up your bonus reading from the Hoodoo Tarot this month. Make sure you guys check out the original reading on my other channel. And if you guys would like a personal reading, that info is in the description box below. All right, love you, Virgos. Talk to you next time. Bye. All right, Capricorn, you guys are up next. You guys had the Knight of Swords, the Son of Knives, same as Taurus. That plant for that is ragweed, which I am highly allergic to, BTW. It says the image, the Son of Knives, stands in front of a church, clasping a switchblade and a razor as he awaits the arrival of his opponent. The winner of this slash fest must face no retribution from the family of the wounded or deceased man because the battle takes place before the eyes of God. Meaning, the Son of Knives represents the tendency to go too hard and provoke others. On the positive side, he is innovative, gung-ho, energetic, vigilant, clever, and persuasive. On the negative side, he is pushy, aggressive, two-faced, a gossip, a hustler, and likes to take unnecessary risks and spread rumors and drama. In a reading, if he doesn't represent a literal person with these qualities, then he represents these attributes, okay? And then you guys had Lover's card. You guys are like one of the, I think the only people that had the Lovers. It's called the courting card, like courting somebody to date them in this deck. The Bible verse is 1 John 5, 7 through 8. For there are three that testify, the Spirit and the water and the blood, and these three agree. Plants are squash leaves. The image says a couple is walking down the road holding hands. They are oblivious to the judgment of the two elders watching them because they're so into each other. It's clear from her facial expression that the woman's grandma isn't as enthusiastic about the match as his appears to be. There used to be a time when people understood the distinction between dating and courting. Dating was a lighthearted activity that gave a man and a woman a chance to get to know each other. Not only was it perfectly fine to call on different people, but it would also be considered unwise not to keep one's options open. However, when the two people decided that they wanted to see each other exclusively, that's when the courtship stage began. The goal of courtship was not to have a companion for years, as is common nowadays. The goal was marriage. That being the case, courtship was taken very seriously and had to include the input of family members and close friends to determine the worth of such an investment. The reason for this is simple. Most people didn't marry just because they loved each other. They married for the purpose of social and or economic upward mobility. It was often more of a business transaction than a testament to undying love. Therefore, it only made sense that each partner's community be included in the discussion as it pertained to the propriety and auspiciousness of the match. After all, a poor choice, literally or figuratively, reflected badly on the entire family by ruining their reputation or causing their progeny to suffer an unstable and impoverished home. Thus, merely loving the other was simply not enough if the family was to consistently improve from one generation to the next. To marry an unapproved beau anyway was therefore considered not love at all, but the epitome of selfishness. Meaning, though this card is certainly about love and romance, it doesn't have to be. There are many different types of relationships as well as unspoken contracts that keep them together. We are all giving our attention to someone or something. When courting comes up in a reading, it is asking you to appraise the value of your attachments in terms of your individual long-term goals. While continuing to engage with that person, those people, or that thing, help advance you or your reputation among the kind of people that you respect or with whom you want to do business with? Will their presence help or harm your efforts to attain the life that you visualize? It's time to review your ethics and make an honest assessment of the road you're choosing. It's time to make a choice. If you receive courting in a reading, consider the following. What binds you to her, him, this, or that? Is that healthy? Is that how you really feel, or are you parroting somebody else? Make up your mind. What is your philosophy of life, and how does that inform this relationship? What if you commit fully to this? Is the passion, love, or desire reciprocal? Cute doesn't last. Are your morals, values, and goals aligned? Are you both on the same page, or do you have entirely different books? The moral to the story is ... All right. You guys had the Emperor also. That is John Horse, the Emperor. It says, where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in abundance of counselors, there is safety. That's Proverbs 11:14. The plant associated with this card is cypress. The image says John Horse is seated calmly on his throne. He has a rifle strapped to him. He's clutching a knife in one hand, and the other hand is balled into a tight fist. He's ready for anything. However, John's most powerful weapon, arguably, is the prophet Abiaka, who is busy summoning spirits to keep the community safe. Abiaka's clan totem, the Black Panther, is poised for a vicious attack against anyone who dares challenge him. John Horse, 1812 to 1882, also known as Juan Caballo, was born into slavery in Florida. Not much is known about his early life, but he became a leader of the Seminole Indians and participated in the Second Seminole War, which prior to the war in Vietnam was the United States Army's only non-victory. In addition, in 1849, John Horse led the largest escape of enslaved people to freedom in the U.S. history. He also founded free settlements for the runaways in Oklahoma and Mexico. By the time of his death, John Horse had fought against the French, the Americans, and hostile Indians working in conjunction with the colonists. He avoided slave catchers, 3 wars, and several assassination attempts. These are but a few of the warrior's outstanding accomplishments. He defended free black settlements on 3 different frontiers and was said to love children, whiskey, and his noble white steed, American. The man who had been credited as John Horse's spiritual guide and mentor was a Creek medicine man and prophet named Abiaka Hadjo. He lived from 1760 to 1860 and was also known as Sam Jones. Though Abiaka was not well known to the public as John Horse was, he was no less important to maintaining the cohesion of the Seminole people. In fact, without Abiaka's determination as a leader, many women, children, and elders would have been slaughtered. The Seminoles would not have a band in Florida this very day if it were not for him. Abiaka's name is translated as crazy rattlesnake in English, but the Muskogee or Creek Indian word Abiaka is said to mean heap at the root. In the immortal words of Morpheus from The Matrix, fate, it seems, is not without a sense of irony. The meaning says, when John Horse appears in a reading, you are being advised to take charge of whatever is going on in your life. This is not the time for self-doubt or weakness of any kind, for if you indulge in those emotions too long, you are certain to lose more than you can imagine. The odds may be tough, but John Horse teaches us that no matter how great the odds are against you, victory is still achievable. When this card comes up, there is simply no other course of action but to get organized and then charge full steam ahead. However, John Horse is also reminding you that even the greatest warriors require support. He is telling you that you may increase your chance of winning by having the right spiritual teachers in your corner. If you receive John Horse in a reading, consider the following. Effective leadership requires wise counsel and up-to-date information. Are you following the right leaders or elders at this stage in your journey? What does lineage mean to you? Do you know yours? How do you protect yourself from attacks? Get organized and focus, or prepare for certain defeat. Does this plan have a solid foundation? Do you have a problem with authority for its own sake? The law is its own way. The law is on its way. The system, stick to your regimen for best results. If you value comfort over security, things are about to get really uncomfortable. Stop whining and fight. Every Indian wants to be the chief. And what does your father or father figure have to say about that? All right. Then you guys had the Sun for your final major arcana. This is the Big Mama card. It says, I am reminded of your sincere faith, a faith that dwelt first in your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice, and now, I am sure, dwells in you as well. 2 Timothy 1:5. Plant is sunflower. The image says Big Mama is holding a plate of homemade cornbread with the sun shining brightly behind her. She wears a skeleton key as a necklace to symbolize her all-encompassing wisdom. Big Mama is a term of endearment for the matriarch of one's family. It is an acknowledgement of her wisdom, strength, authority, leadership skills, and ability to nurture multiple generations. Traditionally, all elders of both genders were to be respected for these qualities, but no one is bigger than Big Mama. As the caregiver of so many children and the transmitter of family history, lore, and spirituality, she is the family's jewel and guiding light. Today, Big Mama's role in many families is not as prominent as it used to be before desegregation. As Black Americans increasingly interacted with ethnic groups that were more youth-oriented and patriarchal, the ethical, hierarchical, and conceptual foundation of the community started to shift. Also adding to this alteration of thought was the movement away from the church. It was there that the values of the forebears were reinforced, celebrated, and discussed. Often it was your Big Mama or someone else's that you knew well or were kin to who also held the prestigious title of Mother of the Church. Like the sun, the matriarch is a warm, centralized force without whom growth would be impossible. Meaning, when you receive the Big Mama in a reading, you better believe that no matter how dark it is now, the light is coming and everything is going to be all right. Big Mama may also be speaking about being willing and able to share your glory, your light, and your powers with others. This is not the time to lay low. This is your time to shine. If you receive her in a reading, consider the following. Do you fear being brilliant or successful? What is being highlighted? It's okay to be the center of attention sometimes. What does enlightenment mean to you? Take a personal day from work. Who are the important players in the situation? Am I exhibiting a positive attitude? Reputations matter. It's time to celebrate. Confidence is the best cosmetic. What do you need to do to look and feel your best? All right. And then you guys had the 10 of Swords, the 3 of Wands, and the 3 of Coins. All right. So 3 of Wands, which is the 3 of Sticks. The plant is kudzu. The image says a root worker is standing at the peak of Mount Cheaha, the highest natural point in Alabama. He wears a cape of kudzu leaves for protection against any malefic spirits as he contemplates. Positive meaning is improved finances, travel, exploration, becoming a leader, seeing the big picture, embarking on a quest, expansion, feeling free and uninhibited, visionary, power moves, reaping the reward for hard work, and receiving potentially game-changing advice. In the reversed negative position, nothing working out as planned, unforeseen obstacles, hidden adversaries, obsession with past failures, short-term thinking, making the wrong moves, lack of real effort, not being taken seriously, and lack of imagination and foresight. All right. And then we had the 10 of Swords and the 3 of Coins. Let's see. 10 of Swords, 10 of Knives. The plant is White Rose. The image says this card depicts a brutal murder of a root worker and pastor of the Divine Temple of Healing, George Webster, in Memphis. Webster was accused of hexing a client, which eventually drove the woman crazy. Her son got revenge by killing him in broad daylight. Positive meaning is surviving a disaster, being discerning about whom you trust, learning from past mistakes, getting saved in the nick of time, and things still sucking but getting better. In the negative reverse position, defeat, martyrdom, the end of a cycle, hitting rock bottom, distress, relapses, betrayal, negative thinking, hard times, hospice care, drastic change, bad-mouthing, chronic pain, deep wounds, refusing to accept something that is over, and sacrifices. And then the last one you had was 3 of Coins, which is the 3 of Pentacles. The plant is vetiver. The image says a very successful Afro-Romani worker, a root worker, awaits the arrival of a client. Thousands of gypsies were reclassified as colored and intermarried into Negro communities throughout the South. They were known to be especially skilled at breaking hexes and curses. This woman wears 2 necklaces that keep the blessings coming, a rosary made of black-eyed peas, and a wishbone. Positive meaning, employment, professional growth, internships, high standards, appreciation for a job well done, beneficial use of talents, exceeding expectations, promotions, detail-oriented people, upgrades, improvement in social status, being validated by others, degrees or certifications, collaborations, and goal-oriented people. In the negative reverse position, it means incompetence, missed opportunities, know-it-alls, demotions, work-related problems, lack of skill, falling short, half-hearted efforts, and poor work ethic. All right? All right, Cappies, that is what I have for you guys today. All right, that's your extended. Please make sure you check out the original one where I did the intuitive portion of your reading. And if you would like a personal reading, I just cleared my books up, so I'd love to read for you today so I can feed my children. So emails in the description box if you would like to do that. All right, Capricorn, I love y'all. Talk to you next time. Bye.